the table stakes, as I call them. I've broken them down into these buckets: build, align, enable, engage, and deliver. And what I've found over this course of my last 6 companies that I've worked for, you cannot spend enough time on building the right solution. IP co-sell ready status in the marketplace listings, right? Having partner center skills, making sure that you leverage the partner center. You're completely understanding of how it works, how to do reports and all of that stuff, including the incentives that are built into that partner center. You've got to build solution decks, pitch decks to Microsoft and through Microsoft to the end customers. From an alignment perspective, priority solution areas, you got to align to the priority solution area for Microsoft, right? Every year they switch or they will slightly change their focus. And you have to make sure that you align to those solution areas and ensuring that your solution is front and center and completely mapped to the solution areas for Microsoft sellers to completely understand how this is going to fit to their pitch to the end customer and how they're going to retire their quota. Alignment to the sales org, it's probably the most important piece.
Join our 5-week course on cloud marketplaces and learn how to tap into the $250 billion spend that enterprises have committed to AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. Discover the future of go-to-market with Roman. During weekly sessions, you'll learn how to leverage this fast-growing channel and network with industry experts and partnership leaders. We'll dive into marketplace strategies, internal buy-in, building relationships with the cloud, and mastering co-sell. Join our upcoming cohort.
I'm really excited to have the session with Manik Rane. Manik has incredible experience in partnering with Microsoft in quite well-known company, NetApp. And NetApp has been Partner of the Year of Microsoft, and Manik leading Microsoft Alliance in NetApp, and he will tell you more about it. We're going to be focusing today on do's and don'ts in partnering and how to kick off this entire cloud marketplace program with such partner like Microsoft.
My name is Manik Rane. I work for NetApp, and I've been in this alliances business for almost, I would say, 27 years. As a alliances director for NetApp, I manage a team of BD guys that are spread out all across the globe. And I have an individual that manages channel partnership, and I have an individual that purely does marketplace strategy and marketplace transaction, overall the program with Azure Marketplace. But NetApp is a hybrid cloud company, as we call it. It has been around for 30 years. We're basically in the cloud storage and cloud data management. And as you can see on the left, these are hardware stuff that NetApp has been selling for close to 40,000 customers across the globe, right? We are a publicly traded company, 13,000 some odd employees, $6 billion in revenue. Interestingly, the cloud revenue is just 10% of the overall revenue. So that gives you, the scale of cloud within NetApp. And the reason why they wanted me to come in and set up the Microsoft part of the cloud business, right? So I have peers at NetApp that manage AWS and Google Cloud, right? And we have dedicated sellers team, dedicated pre-sales team for Azure, and the same thing with AWS and Google. So there are 3 parallel set of dedicated sellers and marketeers that are doing nothing but Microsoft Azure, right? One of the things that may not apply to the companies that you work for is NetApp has, because it has been in business for so many years selling on-prem storage devices, Microsoft and Google and Amazon were all interested in building a product that they could sell, but built on the NetApp gear. So we have a first-party services with Azure. It is called Azure NetApp Files. It is a Microsoft product, but basically under the hood, it is a NetApp gear sitting in Microsoft data center, and Microsoft sellers sell it as first-party. Besides that, we have a plethora of cloud infrastructure and cloud ops portfolio that are sold through the Azure Marketplace. So let me talk about a little bit of the business with Microsoft. So we're basically, like I said, we are first-party Azure NetApp files, all storage in the cloud, and then we call it a Blue XP platform, which is an Azure marketplace, which is a control plane or a mediation layer to basically customers to deploy a bunch of cloud ops and cloud storage offering that are sold to the marketplace. They buy through private offers to the marketplace, they deploy it, and it drives the Azure consumption, right? Collectively, we have over 200 petabytes at NetApp. We're all about storage, so we go with the storage moniker with petabytes of storage. And this has been 200 petabytes in about 3.5 years of growth. So we have grown significantly and we continue to grow. One of the biggest growth engine that we have seen over the last year is marketplace. When I came on board, that was the first thing that I did was build the marketplace team to ensure that we are IP co-sell ready, IP co-sell MACC eligible, making sure we are completely buttoned up when it comes to transacting to the marketplace. And so I put significant amount of energy knowing that this is going to be the way customers are going to demand a transaction through and procure software product rather than the traditional way of selling through the channel partner or directly with the ISV through on their paper. So this became a completely new vehicle for us to transact, and it was great for the customers. As you already know, customers are able to burn down their commitment on Azure. So all of those good things help the marketplace as a route to market. This gives you a sense of, we're across all the industries. One of the things that I'm sure you must have heard before, alignment to the Microsoft solution areas is critical, whether you directly work with the Microsoft field sellers or you position it on the Azure marketplace. It has to align to one of these solution priorities. Now, I've taken the one that align well with the infrastructure play that we have, which is all about migration. So we align with the migrate SAP SQL workload, Linux or HPC, and AI, and then of course Oracle. We have a marketing engine that works extremely well. Of course, Microsoft invests in this marketing motion, and we drive substantial amount of MQLs, which we upload into Microsoft Partner Center, which gets picked up by Microsoft sellers, and then we start the post-sale engine. So it's been working on phenomenally well, something that I hadn't experienced in the past working for small companies, right? But this is at scale. But it is a point that you want to do an end game where this becomes quite a driver for you. If you are able to co-invest with Microsoft and drive some leads, put them in the partner center and start a conversation with the Microsoft sellers to go and direct their customers to go to the marketplace, that's what you want to do.
Really interesting. Thank you so much.
This is the key slide that I really wanted to spend some time. The table stakes, as I call them, right? In terms of working with Microsoft, you've got to do these things as a given, right? And that I've broken them down into these buckets: build, align, enable, engage, and deliver. And what I've found over this course of my last 6 companies that I've worked for, you cannot spend enough time on building the right solution. IP co-sell ready status in the marketplace listings, right? Having partner center skills, making sure that you leverage the partner center, you're completely understanding of how it works, how to do reports and all of that stuff, including the incentives that are built into that partner center. You've got to build solution decks, pitch decks to Microsoft and through Microsoft to the end customers. From an alignment perspective, priority solution areas, you got to align to the priority solution area for Microsoft, right? Every year they switch or they will slightly change their focus. And you have to make sure that you align to those solution areas and ensuring that your solution is front and center and completely mapped to the solution areas for NetApp, for Microsoft sellers to completely understand how this is going to fit into their pitch to the end customer and how they're going to retire their quota. Alignment to the sales org, it's probably the most important piece. If you're not able to understand how Microsoft is organized around their stew and customer success, the solutions team unit is what I meant around core app innovation or modern workplace security, etc., and how they're compensated, right? How do you align with their sales motion? And then most of these subsidiaries, whether it's a US sub or Canadian sub, all of them have a go-to-market with partners and ISVs. And you want to make sure you understand what those priorities are and then align to those go-to-market motions, right? And including marketing initiatives. When it comes to enabling the field, this is a motion that you have to spend very heavily in the first quarter of Microsoft, starting from July through September, right? This is where I focus most of my team's energy on understanding who's who in the zoo at Microsoft, how did they change from last year, any way we can get new Microsoft account lists, how and then which stew owns that accounts, who is the AQ director, AQ manager, whatever, right? Having that insight is the key to properly and effectively engage with the Microsoft, right? So this is where in the prior roles at startups, I used my Microsoft connections to get the partner into the managed status, and then we're able to get engagement in terms of support of getting the managed account list.
Would you mind explaining for some people who might not know what is stew?
Yep. So Microsoft has two separate orgs in sales, right? One is the accounting unit that has account executives and account technology specialists who own the account all of Microsoft, that they will be responsible for Azure, Dynamics, security, everything. But they may not know anything specifically on Azure. So that's where the solutions team unit, the STU, comes in. And the solutions team units are built with Azure core. So there are selective people who do nothing but selling Azure core. Then there is a solution team units for apps and innovation, and they care about data. And so lots of data partner that drives data estates, that's what they care about. And then the last part is the modern workplace security guys, and then Dynamics. There's a separate sales unit that focuses on that. And then there's customer success that is post-sales and all that stuff. But you have to understand what is the best value proposition to the STU for your product to make sure you're properly aligned, to resonate from how they retire their quota and how they perceive your solution in terms of aligning to what they are measured. We drive massive amount of infrastructure and hence the Azure core. We also drive what we call as drag in terms of besides storage, we drive networking and compute consumption. So it becomes an integral part of our value proposition. So that's how I see the STU alignment. But for your product, it might be better to do maybe customer success alignment. I would say, in my experience, in the last 5-6 companies I worked for, the ATUs don't do a whole lot for you in terms of making inroads into an account, unless it is a very big account and it's critical to ensure that your solution is properly aligned with the customer's vision with Microsoft.